What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to Phil Plays Bass. This is day 2 of being able to stream like normal again. Whoop whoop whoop! How's everybody doing? A kill? Headaches? Headaches are gone. That's good to hear, dude. Nate is here as well. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you for joining again. I've got my big jumper on today again. Basically on a I'm on a 4 jumper rotation at the moment. Temperatures are fluctuating quite a bit in Belgium at the moment, and it's gotten pretty cold again today. It feels pretty cold. Is Euphonia trying to tell us something with the titles? Is AI trying to tell us something? I think it's trying to tell us everything all at once. Just blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the titles are pretty funny. They don't really make sense at all, as far as I can tell. What's on the program today? Gonna do a little warm up as per usual. Is this thing still working? It is still working. Yes, okay, but Spotify can probably go away. Oh, that doesn't work anymore. Come on, buttons. This doesn't work either. Okay, I'm gonna have to hide it manually. Now playing. Oh no, it was working. I was looking at the wrong window. Genius. Genius. Okay, going to start with a warm-up, and then there's a few things I need to catch up on Discord, because you guys have been sending loads and loads of videos, and I want to do a bit of a catch-up on that as well. Oh yeah, I've been working on a track, basically my own track for the credits track, and I need to come up with a bass line. Going to do some of that as well. In terms of actual practice, what else have we got? Maybe a little bit of Stella, as per usual. Stella practice. Maybe I'll keep transcribing some of that Patrick Bartley. After you've gone solo, just pretty hard, but pretty good. It's an understatement, really. Warm up. There we go. Cool. Okay, sweet. How's everybody doing? Have you got your basses at the ready? This is going to be a bit of a routine stream. I'm just going to start with some basic 1 finger per fret type of thing. Switching to this cam would be better. I've redone my buttons and they don't really work like they should anymore. A little bit less crotch, less stable, more bass. How's this? That's not terrible. Might have to move my chair around a little bit. What's up, Porch Bass? Nice to catch you. Yeah, I appreciate that, dude. Thanks for joining. I'm open to suggestions and questions. If you guys have got some cool suggestions for warming up exercises or any of that sort of stuff, I've got a pretty solid bank of things I should be doing every day. I'm only managing to do, only just a few, but it is what it is. It was actually nice when I was putting some drum loops to do the warm-up, so I'm going to do that again, and hopefully it still works. Plug that in real quick. I'm going to be using Drum Genius, just like the guys at Open Studio, because they're pretty good. 2 octave runs to warm up. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, dude. 2 octave runs of what major scale? Dorian. Lydian. I like to do these kinds of arpeggios. Basically major 7. But I'm going to put a drum loop in order to do that. Can you guys hear that all right? Little drum in the background. Should probably slow it down a touch. There we go, that's better. Turn volume a bit for me. 2, 3, 4. Every single time. Okay, starting to warm up a little bit, but hands are pretty cold. What else have we got? It's both, Mikhail. Well, it's electronic piano basically, which is also a MIDI controller, but it's from like back. I think this thing's about 25 years old. It's the Roland A90 MIDI controller. Pretty expensive piece of kit, proper professional stuff. That's my dad's basically, but he never really played it. He wrote a bunch of tunes back in the early 2000s. They weren't particularly very good. I hope I'm hoping he doesn't hear me say that, but it was a bit weird. I think he opened the manual maybe a couple of times, and then he's just like, yeah, I'll just do like flutes and oboes and just random drums and stuff like that. I don't think he even ever learned to to quantize anything. So it was always a bit meh. He's got great ideas, but the execution was a bit off. I'm struggling to warm up today. My hands just don't really want to do what they're supposed to do. Let's put another beat. This is supposed to be Steve Gadd. No quantize for the winners. I mean, sure, if you put the hours in to practice it, for sure, but yeah, not ideal. Get a plectrum in. That's actually not a bad idea, dude. I'm really terrible at playing with a pick. Really not very good at all. So let's give it a shot. Turn the tone back on. With a different drum beat. How about that? Funky? No, not funky. About this. Can I try and do the chicken with a plectrum? Probably not. Oof. Damn, dude, that is really difficult to do. Oops. Damn, dude, that is really tough. Oof, jeez, my wrist. Hey, not a bad idea, dude, for the wrist. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Michael's in the house. Hello, Michael. How are you? How is the weather in Louisiana? Hopefully warmer than Belgium. As you can tell, the blue jumper's back out. Blue jumper's back on the menu, though that doesn't make sense. But there it is. Warm up. Let's call it done. This called catch up. You guys have been posting loads and loads of things, and I wasn't able to do any kind of catching up on it. I did see that Adam Neely had posted this his video essay on Suno and everything AI related, and I think I watched about a third of it, and I was like, dude, this guy is just such a brilliant sort of essayist slash video writer. It's just so well done, man. So well done. I've got huge amount of respect for the guy. Let me switch to a different screen. I really enjoyed the beginning of it, but didn't have. I don't know why Zahar says, "Bingo, we got everything: Greek fascists and AI." Zahar with one of his cold Russian takes. Akil, you posted something, but you said it was silly. Is it worth checking out? Is Neely the woke scold? Dude, that's a good question. Depends exactly what you in what context would he be the woke scold? In like with this particular aspect of things. Zahar says, I want to ask for a suggestion. I started just exploring walking bass lines. I heard this from Richard Brown. The best way to learn how to walk is just to explore how you can get to the next chord without music or metronome and just remember it to use later in context. Is it a good way to learn? Yes. Great way to learn. New Wall. The New Wall is in the house. And then Jen from Savage Fridays posted a bunch of cool new videos. Oh my god. Yannick Guzdala's headless short scale 5-string bass. Okay, gonna have to check that out. Mike, i.e. Big Sun, posted a bunch of cool videos about a bass player called Melvin Lee Davis, and I didn't know who the guy was. I'm embarrassed to say, but the guy was the MD amongst many other illustrious assignments. He was the MD for Chaka Khan, played a bunch of his own music as well. Just really insanely good bass player. Or plays on a 6 or 7 string. It's really interesting thing. Yannick annoyed you with his mantle shilling. Isn't that like a super fancy DI pedal? What's bad about it? So Adam Neely always goes off about black chords and anti-colonialism. I like that you put needlessly after that. I thought that was his nickname. Needlessly complex Adam Neely. Not I then, dude. I mean, it's you've got to respect somebody who does this kind of stuff. I don't always agree with him, but I tend to think that his takes are usually pretty sort of balanced. You know. Is Zachar in the house? Is Zachar a Russian friend? If he is, we could try and do a couple of sort of walking bass lines, because I'm gonna have to start covering that sort of stuff with my students very soon. A bunch of them wanted to learn about slap bass. Oh, by the way, guys, if you've got any tips on how to teach slapping, it's actually a lot more difficult than I thought. My buttons don't work correctly. Obviously, the way I started approaching it with my students was, well, basically tell them that there are two basic main movements, right? The slap and the pop. They're already looking at me with just huge googly eyes, like, what on earth did you just do? Like, what is this? And trying to explain it, I'm like, okay, it's basically a flick of the wrists where you're basically, I mean, the sort of more middle of the road slapping technique is slapping on the fretboard, as opposed to, like Flea, who slaps over there, close to the bridge. Usually most people will tend to start off, at least, I think the basic technique would be to slap on the fretboard, flick of the wrist, and you're basically aiming to sort of bump against the string, bump past the string. I think that's the best way to sort of describe it. It's like bumping past the string and landing on the fretboard. Like Mike said, yeah. Some say to slap through the string, some bounce off the string. But the thing is, like, through the string, I think it's already a bit of a too vague a concept, for somebody who's never done it. It's like, I had some students who were just did not absolutely not understand at all what they were looking at, and I kept doing the movement really slowly to demonstrate to them, and they just wouldn't get it. So get them bouncing on the beat. Again, some of them can't do that. So how do I get them to do two things they can't do at once? So I told them to basically, this is going to sound a bit weird, right? But bear with me for a second. I told them to, in order for them to sort of find the place in the thumb that they'll use as basically the hammer on the string, I was like, why don't you just rub your thumb on the string over the fretboard and find that little sort of that little bit of that little shank. It's not a shank, it's like a bit of cartilage or whatever that you've got in your thumb, and rub it against the string. And that was what got a couple of them to actually figure out what they were supposed to do, because they were like rubbing it and then rubbing it harder, and then eventually they got this kind of movement going, just with the thumb. And I was like, well, that's it. Now you just add a little bit of a flick and basically rubbing your knuckles on the scratch plate, and use that as basically a pivot point, an anchor. And that was the sort of best way I could describe it to them. Start by rubbing the side of your thumb on the string. When they got that, they were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm starting to feel something. And then somebody managed to get that. The pop seems a lot more, it's a lot closer to something that they already do, like plucking the strings a bit harder than they should, right? But yeah, my teaching slap is basically kind of a work in progress. I've just established a few sort of basic entry points for the students, and they'll figure it out from there. If you guys have any other questions, please feel free. I'm not going to be playing a lot of tunes on this stream, obviously, since we're trying to avoid copyright strikes. Bass peace to all. That's I like that. That's a cool saying. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to be doing this stream today then taking a short break for food for maybe an hour and a half, and then I will be streaming a full gig practice where I'll be playing along to about an hour worth of Celine tunes from that live show that I'm learning, and I'll be in sort of gig mode, so play and then that's it essentially. I'll be reading the charts and reading the dots is more like, and just play through about an hour of the show, and I'll do that tomorrow as well, because I have to start putting a bit more pressure, like actual pressure on this gig. So I'll be standing up. I'll have my desk risen. I'll raise my desk, and I'll be basically practicing as if it was real live band practice / gig. So I'll be doing that at around 8:30, something like that. I'll confirm that on the Discord, but feel free to jump in. It's going to be an actual live practice, even though there's not going to be too much talking. I mean, I keep saying that, and then I end up doing mostly talking. Mike says, Ian Martin Allison says, slap through the string, then you can pull up double thumb, but epic Japanese bassist Mina bounces off. Yes, there are some people who do that. I'm really not a fan of that. I think at least for my morphology, doesn't work. It doesn't work for me at all. For me, the most precision, the most accuracy I get is like that. And I'll tell the students to practice not so much bouncing off the string or playing through the string, but sort of bumping past it on your way to the fretboard. Yeah, definitely. The arm barely moves, actually. But it's such an interesting thing, man. Like having to deconstruct something that is now pretty automatic for you into its sort of simplest first principles, simplest components, and really take all of these components at one, as like little separate issues. Super tough, man. Morphology, love that word. I just rarely have the opportunity to use it in a sentence. I've been using that word so much, talking to my students. Like, yeah, you can play like this, you can play like that, but it also kind of depends on your morphology. The shape of your hands, the girth of your fingers. Girth is another one that we don't get to use too often. But yeah, Johnny D. I thought you were singing something. Dibble-de-doo. Johnny Dibble does that hand down slap too. Yeah, well, a lot of people are wrong about things. I'm kidding. Just a little tease, guys. It's just a little tease. I like to teach one way, which I think is the most middle of the road one. I like to teach the thing that is just so vanilla, so generic, that basically the students can then sort of branch out if they want to. But I'll always tell them, when it comes to left hand, right hand, just plucking, to go back to a regular bass technique, I'll tell them, learn the hardest technique, which is to follow each and every string with the thumb. To me, that is the kind of technique that will allow them, if they're so inclined, to do this kind of stuff later on. Fine, yeah, do that if you want, but first you've got to follow Mr. Miyagi's experience, Paulie's experience, and learn the proper way. I haven't yet told them about the little pinky trick, the pinky finger trick. I may never. Who knows? Maybe I'll never have the opportunity. Try to get a good angle. Actually, that's pretty good of an angle. That I like that. That is pretty clear. At least I'm not getting distracted by the comments when I'm when I'm facing this way. It's more obvious on my 5 string when I play the 5 string, but my pinky finger. I use it as another anchor point on the E string. I like it. I think it's another one of those underrated techniques that helps you delegate some of the muting in sort of more outlandish, weird scenarios that we sometimes end up having to play in. Cool, that's the Discord catch up. Oh yeah, right. So another little bit of news. You know, I'm always working on behind the scenes. I'm always trying to improve bits of the stream, and I want to get rid of this AI music that I've been putting behind it. It's fun for a while, you know, but I mean, I feel like people are already kind of just getting tired of it. Skip this. So, Logic. Let me share my Logic screen with you guys. I've basically laid down the super basic chords. No, Logic, where are you? Logic. Oh, is it behind the webcam? No, hang on. Properties. Restart capture. Why does it not want to? It's not on that screen either. Okay, let's put it right at the front. Still not. Oh yeah, okay, of course, that's because it's in the wrong bloody place. Right. Okay, that's it. So, this is the sort of demo version that I've got for my track, basically. Hopefully it's going to sound all right. Yeah, this synth. Whoa, what is that? Sci-fi suspense theme? No, I don't need no sci-fi suspense theme. This is basically what I've got so far. You'll notice that the guitars are heavily chopped. That's because I can't play super choppy, chippy, Cory Wong type of guitar. That's a whole other technique, man. Super difficult to do. So I'm cheating. But it's out there now. Plus, I'm mainly a bass player, right? So, but I do have to come up with a bass line for this section. And I'm not going to lie, I have zero inspiration apart from following the guitars. So I might just try and record that real quick just to see how I feel. Guitar or bass, yes. Brit and clean. I hate that this is the default patch. Clean bass, hi-fi DI. Let's go for that kind of sound. Input 2. Hello, sir. Hey, dude. It's been a while. How have you been? Good to see you again, man. Let's give this a basic. You're back again, indeed. Good to see you, dude. Back again. 2, 3. You know what? I'm just going to copy a bunch of these and jam over this sort of stuff. Just for a few minutes, just to get a feel for what I can do. What I can do with this. Bish, bash, bosh. What do you guys think? Huh? Is that something that would sound kind of cool, or is it I spent a couple of hours on doing that today, all right? So it's not mixed properly. Everything sounds a bit harsh. But you guys can be harsh in your feedback. This is usually when the most productive stuff happens. Let's see. Let's see what kind of ideas I can. Oh, maybe some slap. I got lost. It's messy, isn't it? It's very messy. We don't actually need a symbol every bloody time. You guys get to vote. Slapping or fingerstyle? Let's do some more jamming on that. Oh. That is terrible. That's terrible. I need to do some more octave workouts. Kind of Joe Dahl-ish, actually, yeah. Sounds a bit chorusy, it's weird. It doesn't sound like when you played it in, does it get delayed? What do you mean, Porch? It doesn't sound like when you played it in, does it get delayed? We're missing like a comma or something. Ooh, I've got something there. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I'll save it in the sort of weird bank of unlikely ideas for now. Yeah, it sounds chorused because I think it's coming through. If I mute the bass now, you guys should only be getting the Logic feed, probably. And yeah, there is something that sounds. I mean, obviously for me, it's the monitoring. Oh, we could try something that's a bit like Spanish guy, Vincent Garcia. Actually, that could be funny. Let's give this a few. Let's give this a few tries. Actually, that works on the second half, not so much the first one. Yeah, if I can get my act together. Okay, I'm just going to be jamming. Okay, it's all going to be terrible. They're not proper takes, they're just ideas. It's not very musical, is it? Not very musical ideas. I can't even tell if it's groovy. Okay, I don't think there's anything really worth it in there. Root notes. How about that? How about some just regular root notes? I need to play these notes once more. This is probably going to be the jumping off point, really. Why not leave the 1 of bar 2 empty? Leave the kick off the 1 of bar 2. Yeah, the drums aren't yet what they're going to be. This is literally, if you look at the shape of it on here, it's just the most basic sort of tempo keeping thing. But dude, that is a great idea. Actually, might have to do some drum editing later on tonight. All right, I've got 15 minutes before 10 minutes, 13 minutes roughly before I've got to do some cooking. I'm going to save this for later. Yeah, the kick has to be a bit more present, i.e. like playing with the rest of the instruments. For now, it's just if I just isolate the drums, you'll hear it's pretty boring. That is literally my sort of go-to demo beat. Just and then yeah, that's it. Saved. Leave Logic for now. Going back to a little bit of playing. Mike says Vincent Garcia makes me want to. Oh, burn. Jeez, I thought you meant bum. Dude, whatever floats your boat. But I would not recommend that. I like Vincent Garcia as well, but yeah, it's true that you need a bit of everything to for the world to be right? All sorts of bass players, people like me who can do a bit of grooving, a bit of this, a bit of that, but nothing particularly amazingly well. And then you've got people who are like experts at particular techniques and stuff like that. And well, there's no doubt that he falls into that category. I don't think anybody would be unhappy about that kind of judgment. Shall I try Stella by Starlight by memory? Okay, off the top of my head, let's see if I can not bum this. Try to play one or two. Okay, no, don't forget to unmute the bass. Amazing Slowdowner. Are you working?
One.
Oh my god, it's working first try. Gee, I can't believe that. It's not on screen, but we don't need to do that unless you guys need to hear it. But it's basically a Jamie Aebersold backing track.
1, 2, 3.
Obviously, if I'm muted the monitoring now. All right, I'll mute the microphone as well for a minute so that the clickety sound of the strings doesn't get picked up on the mic. All right, let's go.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bye, Porch. Thanks for joining, dude. And the microphone is still muted. Apologies, guys. I wasn't very focused today. Just a little bit of a short jam because I don't. Yeah, I expected to be doing a bit more in this hour, but that's cool because we're touching base. I will be back in an hour's time, hour and a half, and I'll be doing full hour of practicing the gig that I've got on the 7th of March. Sadly, this is the end of this half of the stream, but hopefully you guys can join me again, like I said, in an hour and a half, roughly. That kind of time frame gives me a little bit of time to practice some piano as well. But thank you all very much for joining. I will be streaming again tomorrow at the same time. I will have a bit more time on Friday. There's nothing I have to do in the evening, so it'll be a proper sort of regular long stream. Can go back to regular cam. I need to fix these buttons, man. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for joining me today. Is it going to be playing? Is it going to be working? No, it's not working, but it's cool. I will see you guys in an hour and a half. Until then, toodles. This was Phil Plays Bass. Thank you all very much for joining. In a bit. In a little while.